Mother, we know it to be a doctor in a sick room and a lawyer in a courtroom and anybody in this house. But if you don't want Jesus to walk with you, if you do, you can give him a better praise than that. Amen? Ladies, thank God for blessing us all to live to see this day. Amen? We want to say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers in the house. We thank you, Pastor Freeman, for one more time for being able to stand at this sacred desk. Amen?
Amen.
I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my wife, my caretaker, my best friend for being here with me. Amen? There were some days when Mama didn't feel well. God blessed me with 2 of my kids to be with me. God gave them strength in them times when Daddy couldn't get up. God gave them strength to get me up, so I thank God for them being here as well. Amen. We're not going to prolong the time. We're going to give you just what God has given us. And we want the men to pay attention especially, but we're talking to everyone. Look at Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. We'll go short, sweet, and simple. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. When you have it, say, I got it real. If you don't have it, say, hold on. All right, I heard somebody say, hold on. All right, make sure everybody on one accord. Philippians 4 and 13 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Maybe somebody need to hear that one more time. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Let us pray. Dear Father God, we thank and we praise you for this great and glorious opportunity. Oh God, to stand before this your people, Lord. And as always, we ask you to hide us behind the cross that they want to hear and see you. That you will get the glory, honor, and the praises out of everything that is said and done here. Open up our ears, open up our hearts, Lord God, that we will be receptive to your words. And Lord God, that we will not be only hearers, but we'll be doers as well. Father God, bless us right now. Bless our time with you. Father God, that if there's anything in us that needs to change, that you'll change it right now, oh God. In the name of Jesus. Bless us all right now, Father. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I just want to talk to you from that verse. I can do all things. I can do all things. There are times in life when we feel that nothing will ever go right. There are times when you feel that everything that you're trying to do fails. There are times when the devil loves to whisper in your ear and tell you, you can't make it. You can't do it. Just give up. But I stopped by to tell you, the Bible says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. A lot of times it looks like things are just not going to go your way. We look at things through our physical eyes instead of our spiritual eyes. We look at things, we think about things through our physical mind and not our spiritual mind. But in the physical, everything looks impossible. It looks like it's going to overtake you. It looks like you can't break through it. You can't go around it. You can't triumph over it. But I love the way the Bible puts it in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And in all thy ways acknowledge him, for he shall direct thy path. That lets me know that what I think, see, or feel is not right. Because we are only humans and we think with a human mindset. But you got to also look at the Bible in Isaiah 55 and 8, for it says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord. So we must get out of the physical mindset and stop listening to that old rascal they call the devil. Because I've also learned that man's extremity is God's opportunity. When we get to the point where we realize it's not about our strength, it's not about our mindset, it's not about our wisdom, and we step out of the way and let go and let God, God will show you just how things really should be. No matter how big the problem or the issue may seem, God is bigger than anything you have going on in your life. Just like the eyes that don't want to work right this morning, God is bigger than this bad eyesight. If you don't believe me, let's talk to David for a few minutes. In 1 Samuel chapter 17, it talks about a little shepherd boy by the name of David who kept his father's sheep. And as you know, David was a small young man. He wasn't that strong. But mother, I've heard that big things come in small packages. David had 3 brothers that were in the army. His father sent him out on a simple mission that changed David's life forever. When David got to where his brothers were, there was a great big giant called Goliath. Everyone was afraid of him. Have you ever had a problem or an issue that has scared you so bad that it had you backed up in a corner and afraid? You didn't know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. It seemed like this problem was just so big to where it got to the point to where it was overtaking you. Somebody know what I'm talking about in here. You talked to God about it, but you were so busy telling God how big the problem was. But you should have been telling your problem how big your God is. God spoke to David and told David, you can triumph over this giant. So if you read 1 Samuel 17 and verse 32, David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail them because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Sometimes you have to step out on faith and trust God, even in the midst of your worst circumstances. And of course, you're going to always have those in your ear telling you you can't do it, you can't fix it, or you'll never make it. In 1 Samuel 17:33, and Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth. But when those times come, don't get caught up in what the haters, and the debaters have to say. Just sit back and reflect on all the things that God has done for you in your past. Just like David did. He wanted Saul to know that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So read a little bit further. We're going to walk this chapter just for a few minutes. In 1 Samuel 17:34-36, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock, and I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by the beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this is where David had a little boldness and a little courage, and he started feeling pretty good on reflecting about what God had done for him. He said, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living God. Sometimes you have to not only encourage yourself, but you have to encourage others as well. Like David put it in 1 Samuel 17:37, David said, and moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, out of the paw of the bear, he will. Somebody say, he will. He will deliver me out of the hands of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with you. Sometimes you have to let folks know whose side you're on. Let me do a check-in here. Is there anybody in here that's on the Lord's side? You don't mind. It might not seem like I can do it. The odds may look stacked against me, but I can do all things. Somebody say all things through Christ that strengthens me. In this life, you have to stand on the word of God and use what you got. What works for others may not work for you. Because I've learned in my 40 years of living, not all advice is good godly advice. Have I got a witness in here? In 1 Samuel 17:38-39, Saul armed David with his armor, and he put on a helmet of brass upon his head. And also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he assailed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I can't go with this, for I have not proved it. And David put away all of that stuff. David followed the plan of God and just use what God told him to use. Somebody in this room, you trying to listen to what everybody else got to say. You trying to take everybody else's advice about your situation. And Sister Jones, I learned that most folks that speak it on your situation have no earthly idea of what you're dealing with, what you're going through, because they don't understand. But I want you to know, follow what God is telling you to do. Move when God tells you to move, not when they say move. David followed the plan of God and did what he told him to do, used what he told him to use. So David took nothing but a slingshot, 5 smooth stones. Y'all didn't hear me. You know, when we were growing up, we played with them little slingshots. And we had them little bitty 5 smooth stones. They went to the battlefield with a staff. And when David got to the battlefield, Goliath was standing out there. He was talking a whole lot of stuff about that little old David. In your life, you're going to be put down, talked about, ridiculed, and mistreated. But you have to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. You know that God got your back. Is anybody here besides me know that God's got your back? Amen. I just want to shout about myself. 1 Samuel 17:41 through 47. And the Philistine came out and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about, he saw David, and he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said to David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with a staff? And the Philistine cursed David by his God. And the Philistine said to David, he said, come to me. I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and the beasts of the fields. But great God from on high, that David said to the Philistine, thou come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's. And he will give you into our hands. How many know that the battle is not yours? That sickness that you're dealing with is not yours. I don't care what the doctor's reports say. I want you to understand. Believe the report of the Lord. Believe just what God is telling you. Somebody in here, you hear me, but you're not feeling me. I want you to understand. I don't care how hard it's been. I don't care how many years you've been going through. I serve a God that's got all power in his hand. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I don't care what it seems like. I understand that you may have been dealing with it for so long. But the woman with the issue of blood was dealing with it for many years. But when she came, baby, I feel all right now. When she came in contact with Jesus, but something that took over her. And when it took over her, she was healed. So I stopped by to tell you that you can still be delivered. You can still be healed. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I command you to be healed, be delivered, and be set free. Somebody needed to hear that. I command you to be healed, be delivered, be set free. Somebody ought to speak that over yourself right now. I command myself to be healed, be delivered, be set free. David was able to overcome the great giant Goliath by the power of God. I want to tell the men in here, I need all the men to stand, all the fathers. I want y'all to stand up. Even the young men, I want y'all to stand up because I want y'all to hear this. I want the men in this room to stand up. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Stand on the word of God and watch him move on your behalf. Only believe in him and he will work it out for you. If he did it for David back then, I want to tell you, he'll do it for you today. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what the sickness is. I don't care what the doctor's reports say. God says in his word, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Don't let your problems overtake you. Understand what we're dealing with in this world. Black men, we're going through a lot right now. But I want you to understand, God is with us all. I want you to understand, He will protect us all. No matter what they try to do to us, stand on the word of God. Do you not believe what God is saying? Glory be to God. Don't let your problems overtake you. Just look to the hills from which cometh your help. Because all of your help. See, I feel my help coming up. God said all of your help comes from the Lord. Glory to God. Man, whoops. Tell you a little story about a little engine that could. They thought because the little engine was small, they thought because the little engine didn't have much power, that they thought that he couldn't help them with anything that they were going through. But their little engine looked at him and said, I think I can. I think I can. Is there anybody in here gonna feel like the little McNeil got her on. See you later, alligator. And after a while, crocodile. I'm gonna read Susan Robinson, I'm gonna go ahead on. And I'm gonna preach this thing just how I feel. Because every day I get up, I have to live this way. I have to tell myself, now here you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Roll out of bed, get up on your feet, wave your hand. God is good all the They don't understand how it feels sometimes not to be able to do everything that you want to do. Some folk, y'all don't understand how it feels sometimes. They have to depend on other folks to do stuff for you. But I'm glad to know that